The Nirvana frontman's tragic suicide at the age of 27 sent shockwaves of grief flooding through the disenfranchised youth of the 90s, who'd looked to Kurt Cobain as their chief spokesman. But few would have felt the devastating effect of his passing more keenly than his 30-year-old widow, Courtney Love. Kurt's death on the 8th of April came just 4 days before the release of her band Hole's debut album. The aptly titled Live Through This, which featured Kurt singing backing vocals on some of the tracks, was voted Best Album in Rolling Stone's 1995 Critics Poll. Despite her obvious problems and addictions, she produced some of her best work over the next few years. 1998 saw the release of Hole's celebrated third album, Celebrity Skin. She also received a Golden Globe nomination for her role in the Milos Forman film, The People vs. Larry Flynt. But by the end of the decade, the band had started to disintegrate, and her film career was going nowhere. She took another stab at forming a punk rock femme supergroup, which disbanded in 2002 amid arguments with Universal Music. In October 2003, Courtney was arrested in LA while smashing windows to get into the home of her boyfriend, manager and producer Jim Barber. The police charged her with being in possession of prescription painkillers. And just 4 hours after her release on bail, she was rushed to a hospital to be treated for an overdose. Meanwhile, her debut solo album, America's Sweetheart, flopped. And Rolling Stone magazine declared, for people who enjoy watching celebrities fall apart, America's Sweetheart should be more fun than an Osbourne's marathon. Courtney herself confided to the same magazine that she needed to be saved. Tens of messy court appearances and orders to get clean later, she decided to put the record straight and launched her own book in 2006.
I'd been written about so many times and had so many articles written about me that this was something where I could present, fractured parts of myself, but myself, and there's no editor saying, putting me in a box and making me into something I'm not. This is me, like it or not.
The same year, Britain's Channel 4 broadcast a documentary called The Return of Courtney Love. But as yet, there's been no talk of a return to the recording studio.